What if I told you the royal fairy tale was never real? That behind every flawless photo op and teary-eyed interview, there's a scripted storm, and this time, the thunder's coming from inside Meghan Markle's own bloodline. Because Samantha Markle, the half-sister Meghan spent years pretending didn't exist, just dropped what she's calling the receipts that end the myth. And honey, it's bad. We're talking hidden diaries, secret voice notes, and one alleged confession that could flip the entire Meghan narrative upside down. The same woman who told Oprah she was silenced might now be the one silencing others. And apparently, Samantha's had enough. The internet's in meltdown. The palace is silent. And Meghan, reportedly furious. Like lawyers on speed dial, PR team in tears furious. Because if even half of what Samantha just exposed is true, we're about to see the Duchess of Sussex stripped bare, no titles, no filters, no control. So what is this deepest secret that has Meghan losing her mind behind closed doors? Why did Samantha wait until now to unleash it? And most importantly, why does this feel like the final chapter of the royal soap opera that just refuses to end? Buckle up, because this isn't gossip. This is royal detonation. Let's start from the moment everything started to unravel. The calm before Samantha Markle decided to detonate Meghan's carefully curated image. Because for years, Meghan has built her entire empire on a single story. The misunderstood girl who broke free from royal control. But what happens when the very family you erased from your fairy tale comes back with a vengeance? And a Google Drive full of secrets? Samantha Markle didn't just wake up one morning and decide to go rogue. Oh no, this was years in the making. The resentment brewed quietly while Meghan was busy red carpeting her way into global sympathy. Every headline, every interview, every "I was silenced" narrative. Samantha says it was all a production. According to her, Meghan didn't escape the palace. She escaped accountability. And this week, Samantha finally decided to set the record straight. She dropped a 200-page personal archive online, containing what she calls Meghan's real story. Leaked screenshots of old emails, photos from their childhood, and even a few eerie voice notes allegedly recorded before Meghan's royal fame. She titled the file, "The Duchess Deception." Subtle? Not even a little. Inside those files were claims that sound straight out of a Netflix thriller. Samantha alleges Meghan rebranded her past, changing timelines, rewriting relationships, and creating distance from her own blood to appear more Hollywood tragic. One document even details how Meghan allegedly instructed her PR team to eliminate Samantha from the public narrative. The quote reads, "We don't acknowledge her. We focus on the father when necessary. She's irrelevant." Now, if that's real, it's brutal. But it doesn't stop there. Samantha also claims Meghan used family trauma as a marketing tool, pitching herself as a victim of abandonment, while privately ensuring her half-sister was financially blacklisted from several media outlets. Allegedly, Meghan's team sent quiet warnings to producers who wanted to interview Samantha. "She's unstable, not credible. You'll regret it. You'll regret it." But the twist that sent social media into chaos wasn't the documents. It was the audio. A 2-minute voice note allegedly between Meghan and her estranged father, Thomas Markle. You can hear Meghan's calm, icy tone saying, "If you talk to the press again, you're dead to me." Now, whether that's really her or an elaborate fake, we don't know yet. But the public doesn't care. Perception is reality, and reality is burning. Meghan exposed trended for 48 hours straight. TikTok went wild with Duchessgate compilations. Influencers began dissecting every syllable of the voice note, saying Meghan's tone was cold enough to freeze Buckingham Palace. Even late-night hosts joined in. One joked, "Turns out the real royal freeze wasn't from the Queen. It was from Meghan herself." Meanwhile, Samantha appeared on a late-night show herself, wearing a smug smile that screamed vindication. When asked why she was exposing her sister now, her answer was simple: "Because I'm tired of being her ghost. She erased me for her narrative, but the truth doesn't disappear when you delete family." That one quote cracked the internet in half. Fans were divided, half calling Samantha an attention-hungry opportunist, half calling her a hero for standing up to Hollywood hypocrisy, and Meghan's silence, it only made things worse. While Samantha made her media rounds, Meghan's team reportedly went into lockdown mode. Crisis meetings, emergency PR calls, even rumored contact with high-profile attorneys. An insider close to her circle allegedly told the Daily Frontline, "She's beyond furious. This wasn't supposed to happen again." The plan was to rebuild her image after the Netflix fallout, not relive family scandals from 2018. And that's the irony. Meghan had just started gaining some public sympathy again. A few charity appearances, polished social media posts, a whisper of a new Netflix deal, and now, all that goodwill has evaporated overnight. The Duchess who once claimed truth sets you free is now being accused of living a lie. The public smell blood. Every Reddit thread, every YouTube comment section, every gossip blog is asking the same question. If she lied about her sister, what else did she lie about? It's the question that keeps her PR team awake at night. And to make matters worse, Samantha's so-called archive wasn't just a random dump. It was strategic. Every release was timed. Every drop was planned. First came the childhood photos, then the PR emails, then the audio. The internet started calling it the Markle leaks, and in the middle of it all, Meghan and Harry are reportedly fighting again. One insider described the tension as palpable. Harry wants to stay quiet. Meghan wants to go nuclear. He thinks addressing Samantha only gives her power. She thinks silence looks like guilt. For now, though, the silence is deafening and the world's watching. Because if Samantha's next drop is worse than the last one, Meghan's royal redemption tour might just be over before it begins. And the real question now is, what's coming next in the Duchess deception? Because Samantha just hinted she hasn't even revealed the secret Meghan's most afraid of. And that's where the story turns darker, because the next revelation, according to whispers online, isn't about family drama. It's about something much, much deeper. And just when everyone thought Samantha had already played her final card, she didn't. She doubled down, because what came next wasn't another petty sibling feud. It was something far more sinister, far more explosive. Samantha's second drop didn't target Meghan's personality, it targeted her past. A folder titled The Lost Years appeared online, containing what Samantha claimed were Meghan's pre-Hollywood secrets. We're talking about unflattering photos, emails from her acting school days, and, wait for it, a handwritten journal allegedly belonging to Meghan herself. Now, let's be clear, no one knows if it's authentic, but the timing? Impeccable. Because Meghan was about to appear at a women's empowerment summit that week, and instead of headlines about her speech, the internet was flooded with screenshots from the supposed Meghan diary. One of the leaked entries read, "Everything in Hollywood is performance. I'll be what they want if it gets me where I need to be." It's chilling, if true. A cold confession that the Duchess's persona wasn't destiny, it was strategy. Another page read, "Family ties are liabilities. Reinvention is survival." Those 9 words went viral. People couldn't stop quoting them. Memes exploded. Reinvention is survival became both a rallying cry and a weapon used by critics, as proof that Meghan's entire image had been an act. And Samantha, she didn't hold back either. She went on a live stream, staring straight into the camera, saying, "You built your empire on lies. Meghan, you used the family name when it suited you and buried it when it didn't. But the truth has a way of digging itself out within hours." Hashtags like hashtag reinvention is survival and hashtag Markle Files flooded X, formerly Twitter. Even journalists who once defended Meghan started questioning the authenticity of her story. One London columnist wrote, "We didn't just buy into her narrative. We invested in it. Now the market has crashed." Meanwhile, Meghan's world was collapsing behind the scenes. According to leaked reports from her PR team, major sponsors began reevaluating contracts. A luxury skincare brand quietly pulled her name from an upcoming campaign. An executive insider allegedly said, "We can't risk a brand ambassador being accused of manufacturing her own life story." And Hollywood smelled blood. Talk shows resurrected old interviews, dissecting every clip for inconsistencies. The Oprah sit-down that once defined Meghan's victimhood was now being torn apart frame by frame. "Look at her eyes when she says I was silenced," one commentator said. "That's not trauma, that's performance." Even former staff members began chiming in anonymously. A supposed ex-assistant told a tabloid, "She practiced authenticity the way other people practice accents. Everything had to look natural, which is why nothing ever was. It's savage, but it's believable. Because let's face it, Meghan's entire brand has always walked that razor's edge between vulnerability and manipulation. And now, Samantha just kicked that balance off the cliff." But what really sent shockwaves wasn't the diary or the quotes. It was the email thread. In the folder, Samantha included a series of emails allegedly exchanged between Meghan and a PR strategist back in 2016, right before her relationship with Prince Harry went public. One line stood out. If this relationship becomes serious, my story has to shift. The messy family narrative has to disappear. Another read will lean into the outsider angle. It makes me relatable. Distance from the Markles adds mystery. Fans went wild. Skeptics called it fabricated. But perception, once again, became weapon. Because by now, even people who didn't care about royal gossip started paying attention. They weren't watching a feud anymore. They were watching a collapse. And then came the video. Oh yes, Samantha's piece De Resistance. A grainy, old camcorder clip allegedly from Meghan's early 20s. Showing her joking with friends about manifesting royalty, she laughs and says, "One day, I'll be in Buckingham Palace, even if I have to marry my way in." Now, whether real or not, that line alone was enough to ignite a digital wildfire. The tabloids ran with it like it was gospel. Meghan's marriage manifesto screamed one headline. Proof the Duchess plotted her destiny, said another. And amidst this chaos, Meghan's camp tried to regain control. They called the leaks fabricated, the audio doctored, and the emails part of a smear campaign. But no one was listening anymore. Once the public smells deceit, even the truth sounds like spin. Harry, meanwhile, reportedly begged Meghan to stay quiet. He's said to have told her. Every response feeds it. But Meghan, ever the strategist, allegedly wanted to strike back with a televised rebuttal, another sit-down interview, another attempt to reclaim the narrative. The problem? No network wanted it. Even Oprah's team reportedly passed. According to one insider, she's too hot to touch right now. Nobody wants to be the next PR casualty, and that's when Meghan's fury turned inward. The woman who once had the world at her feet was watching it slip through her fingers. One leak at a time, she reportedly accused her inner circle of betrayal, firing to staffers within a week. Rumors swirled of panic attacks, late-night calls to lawyers, and desperate attempts to trace who leaked what. But Samantha wasn't done. During her latest media appearance, she smirked and said, "If Meghan thinks this was the secret, she's wrong. That was just the prelude." And just like that, part 2 of this saga ended not with a conclusion, but a cliffhanger. Because the world now knew the real deepest secret hadn't even been revealed yet. And if Samantha was telling the truth, that secret wasn't about family feuds or fake narratives or deleted emails. It was something darker, something buried deep enough that even Meghan thought it would never see daylight. By the time Samantha hinted that the real secret was still to come, the internet had officially lost its mind. Every gossip site, Reddit thread, and podcast was on high alert, dissecting every syllable of her interviews like forensic detectives. People were making timelines, conspiracy maps, and YouTube deep dives titled "What is Meghan's Deepest Secret?" Then 3 days later it dropped. Samantha uploaded a new video, just 1 minute long, captioned from Meghan, "No hashtags, no teasers, just that." The clip opened with a soft piano track and a single photograph, a teenage Meghan, smiling next to a woman who wasn't her mother. Then came the voiceover, Samantha's voice, calm, deliberate, venom-laced. "For years, you've hidden behind half-truths and polished lies. But secrets have expiration dates, sister, and yours just expired." The screen flickered. Then came the leak, an alleged letter, handwritten, signed M, addressed to a private benefactor. The contents? Shocking. It described arrangements, support, and references to image construction. In other words, Samantha was claiming that Meghan's rise to fame wasn't just hard work, it was funded. The internet exploded. Within minutes, #Royal Sponsorgate was trending. Some speculated it was a Hollywood producer. Others whispered it was a royal insider who had helped shape Meghan's princess arc years. Before she even met Harry, Samantha didn't name names, but she didn't need to. She let the public imagination do the dirty work. Podcasts called it the smoking gun. YouTube sleuths analyzed the handwriting, claiming it matched Meghan's old notes from her acting workshops. Even AI experts were dragged into it, with some saying the text appeared consistent with authentic samples. And Meghan? She vanished. No appearances, no statements, no new posts. For 5 full days, radio silence. Then, a palace insider told the Royal Ledger, she's devastated. She's calling it the ultimate betrayal. She thought the worst was over after the Netflix backlash. Now she's convinced Samantha's being funded to destroy her. That claim only made things worse. Funded? By who? Theories multiplied like wildfire, from media conglomerates to royal loyalists. One viral post read, "It's giving Operation Buckingham." The palace couldn't silence Meghan, so they let Samantha do it for them. And maybe that's the cruel poetry of it all. Meghan's own sister doing what the monarchy never could, discredit her completely. But Samantha wasn't done twisting the knife. In her final interview of the week, a sit-down special titled Sister Secrets, The Truth About Meghan, she dropped the emotional bombshell. Her voice trembled, tears threatening to fall, as she said, "The deepest secret isn't about money or fame. It's that Meghan was never abandoned. She left us. She chose to erase herself. And the person she became isn't real." For the first time, Samantha stopped sounding like a villain and started sounding like someone grieving. Whether you believed her or not, the emotion was raw. That's what made it powerful and dangerous. Because the public didn't just see the sisters fighting anymore. They saw a morality play, truth versus illusion, authenticity versus ambition, and in that contrast, Meghan was losing. Her silence, once a symbol of grace, now looked like guilt. Her team's denials, once persuasive, now sounded robotic. And when her spokesperson finally issued a statement saying, "These claims are false and malicious," it barely made a ripple. The world had moved on, not from her, but from believing her. And that's the tragedy of a narrative collapse. Once the illusion breaks, it can't be rebuilt. By week's end, the fallout was everywhere. Meghan's pending Netflix renewal, reportedly on hold. A women's leadership foundation postponed her keynote indefinitely. A luxury brand collaboration quietly scrubbed from their site. The Duchess, who once stood for empowerment, was now a cautionary tale in every PR agency's handbook. And Samantha? She became a star. Her book sales skyrocketed. Talk shows lined up for her. Paparazzi followed her through parking lots. For the first time in her life, she was the one being heard, and she loved it. But there's a haunting irony in all this. Because if you look closely, both sisters are trapped in the same cycle, addicted to attention, fueled by grievance, weaponizing truth for survival. Meghan rewrote her story to be loved. Samantha rewrote hers to be believed, and somewhere between those two lies, the truth suffocated quietly. By the time Meghan resurfaced, a single paparazzi shot of her getting into a black SUV, sunglasses on, lips pressed tight, the internet had already decided her fate. The woman once hailed as a revolutionary duchess was now the face of scandal fatigue. The question wasn't, did Meghan lie anymore? It was, can Meghan ever come back from this? Because even if every single leak were proven fake, the damage was irreversible. Once the public sees you as manipulative, no statement can convince them otherwise. The narrative writes itself, and you become a prisoner of your own past. As one commentator put it perfectly, Samantha didn't destroy Meghan's image. She just turned on the lights, and that's the real horror. Not the leaks, not the betrayal, not the scandals, but the realization that everything Meghan built was fragile from the start. Her fame, her victimhood, her marriage, even her moral authority, all constructed on a foundation of perception. Now that foundation has cracked, and no royal title, no Netflix camera, and no PR miracle can glue it back together. Because once the world decides it's done believing in your fairy tale, all that's left is the ending, and this one, it seems, won't be happily ever after. And that's the cruel beauty of it, isn't it? Meghan built a global brand on the story of truth, her truth, only to be undone by someone who claimed to have one of her own. Whether Samantha's deepest secret is fact or fiction almost doesn't matter anymore. The internet has already picked its villain, its victim, and its next obsession. But what do you think? Is Samantha a bitter opportunist cashing in on family pain? Or did she just expose the final chapter of Meghan's royal illusion? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this story isn't over, not by a long shot. If you think you've seen everything from the Sussex saga, think again. The next leak might change everything. Subscribe, stay tuned, and remember, in the royal world, the truth doesn't set you free, it just sells faster.